Caitlin Clark finished shockingly low in WNBA All-Star player voting. Here's what the numbers say. Clark was named an All-Star starter, but she finished 11th in the player vote. The WNBA named its starters for this year's All-Star game, which will take place July 25th in Chicago. Unsurprisingly, Fever superstar Caitlin Clark earned her third All-Star nod in as many seasons. What was surprising, though, is how low she finished in the player vote. All-Star starters are determined through results from fan, media, and player voting. The fan vote accounts for 50% of the result, while the media and player pool makes up 25% of the vote apiece. Clark finished second in fan voting and third in media voting, behind only Paige Buchers in the fan vote, and after Olivia Miles and Buchers in the media vote. Clark made it as an All-Star starter safely, but she finished as the 11th guard in the player vote, a shockingly low finish amongst her peers. That's similar to last year's vote, where Clark was an All-Star starter as she was the top guard in the fan vote, third in the media vote, but only 9th in the player vote. She couldn't compete in All-Star festivities last year at her home building in Indianapolis due to a groin injury, which kept her out of the rest of the season. The Fever made a run to the WNBA semifinals anyway and had the Aces on the brink of elimination as the franchise hoped that Clark's return this year could get over the hump to compete for a title. She quickly got back to her usual self once she was back on the court this year, as she's put forth incredible scoring performances while making plays for her teammates as one of the best players in the league. So what gives? We can't know what went into each player's vote, but we can dive into the numbers, which certainly show that Clark is a well-deserved All-Star once again. A look at Caitlin Clark's All-Star case. It's early, but Clark is in the midst of her best WNBA season yet. Her 21.2 points per game are a career high, while she is second in the league in assists per game, 8.2, behind only Alyssa Thomas. Although it doesn't necessarily matter that she finished so low in the player All-Star vote, since she made the field comfortably anyway, it is interesting that she finished outside of the top 10 when she's clearly been one of the best guards across the league this season. Here's a look at her numbers thus far and how she stacks up against the competition. The one slight against Clark's case is a high number of turnovers. She leads the WNBA with 4.6 per game, but turnovers are given with how much she has the ball in her hands and how much defensive pressure is sent her way. Plus, she's actually limited the turnovers this season compared to her first 2 years in the league. That's a problem, but it shouldn't be enough to knock Clark out of the top 10 guards in the league. At the end of the day, she's still an all-star, and the numbers show that she should be. Caitlin Clark joins a stacked list of WNBA all-star starters. On Thursday, the league announced the 10 starters for the 2026 All-Star Game, which will take place at the end of the month in Chicago. The 4 guards and 6 frontcourt players who finished the top voting results were named starters, while the remaining 12 All-Stars will be chosen by the league's head coaches who are not able to vote for their own players. The 12 reserves will be made up of 3 guards, 5 frontcourt players, and 4 players at either position regardless of conference. Here are the players who were named All-Star starters along with Clark. One notable snub from the starters group is Angel Reese, who finished 6th in the fan, player, and media vote, which left her weighted rank as 7th among the frontcourt group. She'll almost certainly get in as a reserve when the head coaches make their selections, but she just missed the cut to become an all-star starter in her first season with the Dream.